Oh, you just go to the YouTube. Oops.
Oh, and then you'll get it from there.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me when you're ready.
Yeah, we're trying. Emily's got it. Emily's so fast with it. She's getting it.
You ready?
Thank you, Emily.
Yeah.
Tell me when you're good to start. Able to the front office, you can announce that the link is being emailed right now, and we're going live. Of course that would happen. Go ahead. You already had it copied, right?
Yeah.
Yes, link is being sent right now. We're gonna start T-minus 20 seconds. No pressure. Don't go into like some opening and, hi everybody. It's a paste link send.
Okay, we're good.
Cool. You good?
Yep.
Check, check. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for bearing with us there as we ran just a couple little technological glitches. Nothing you've ever run into in your classroom, correct? Ever. Welcome to our 2021-22 Teacher of the Year recognition. And what a better way to kick off Teacher Appreciation Week. We traditionally do this here every year at Midlothian High School because we think it is such a great way to kick off such a special week in which we recognize all the many, many great faculty here at Midlothian High School. So when we recognize the Teacher of the Year at Midlo, I think it's incredibly special because it is the best of the absolute best faculty around. So I'm not going to stand up here and talk long. I'm just going to kick off with a short quote from a incredibly critically acclaimed movie that really touched on a very challenging subject. If you've never heard of it, it's called What About Bob? And we're going to quote Bob when he said baby steps. That's what we're doing here because we're here at the Teacher of the Year award ceremony and I have people in front of me and I have my mask off. We are baby stepping, as Bob said, in the right direction. We are still live streaming for probably 80% of our faculty or more, but we do have people in front of us, so that's very exciting. We've come a long way. We've baby stepped from last year when we recognized Mr. Spiewak as our 2020-21 Teacher of the Year. So that's something to be excited about, and who knows, by next year we'll have students back in the building full force, and we'll be baby stepping in that right direction. So it gives me great pride to introduce last year's Teacher of the Year, who will share a little bit about this year's Teacher of the Year for Midlothian High School, Mr. Mark Spiewak.
Good afternoon. Colleagues, friends, family members, and of course, my dear fellow teachers. Whether you be in person or virtual, it gives me great pleasure to present to you all the 2022 Teacher of the Year. As I kick off my remarks for this occasion, I feel it more than appropriate to begin with citing the very first words uttered from this year's recipient when they were informed of their achievement. Now, mind you, I'm only slightly paraphrasing, but they said, "But aren't we all Teacher of the Year this year?" There's plenty to unpack in that statement. At that moment of authentic gratitude and humility was not at all a mere platitude appealing to this kind of trophy generation mentality, but rather the palpably sincere acknowledgement of what it truly means and what it truly takes to teach, and to teach well, even in the best of conditions and circumstances. Teaching is an art, and it is a science. And as my former colleague and mentor, Ms. Sharon Austin, once remarked, there's also a little bit of magic to it. Effective teaching springs from our passion and curiosity about a subject or a discipline and flows from a nearly equal desire to spread that curiosity, to inform, to inspire, and to let other people in on that thing that got us started in the first place. I lost my spot. But as we know, this is no easy feat, especially in this particular chapter of education and concurrent and hybrid learning. Our Teacher of the Year has found ways year after year to tap into those key elements that foster not only that excitement for learning, but also a sense of community and trust with their students and their colleagues. There's been some attention given to literature recently discussing the power of trust in the classroom and educational leadership. And as Dr. Shannon Moran writes, a great teacher or leader will build trust by showing one of the following 5 traits: benevolence, honesty, openness, reliability, and competence. These very traits are captured over and over again by the words of our recipients' colleagues and students when asked to describe them. But I think if we were to ask our recipients, I feel confident that they would sum it up simply by saying, it's all about building relationships. So, as we go on to honor our Teacher of the Year, it is worth noting that as we do so, we too honor the work that we do, the art and the science of teaching. And as we work collectively towards the noblest of goals, which is to take our knowledge of content and our knowledge of our students and kind of work that magic to ensure that all students succeed. So with that said, our Teacher of the Year, she grew up in Richmond. She graduated from Hermitage High School. They were the first in their family to go to college. And so she went to school at night while working full-time. Ultimately, they graduated from Mary Baldwin with a BA in Business Administration and worked as a director for lawyers, title, and corporate controller for an international manufacturing company. After having children, she was fortunate enough to be able to stay at home with her kids, and then went back to Mary Baldwin to get her master's in teaching. This is her 19th year in education, completing her practicum in student teaching at Midlow Middle, and continuing to teach there until moving to Midlothian High School 6 years ago. In this time, she has shown great commitment to her own development as a teacher leader and educational advocacy in and out of the school building, serving on the school board cabinet representing Midlothian with Dr. Juvaid Siddiqui, serving multiple times on the Virginia Department of Education SOL committee, and being an active member of the instructional coaching team here at Midlow High School. She has accrued numerous awards and recognitions, including the Philip Morris Innovation Awards for 21st Century Teaching and the REB Award for Teaching Excellence in 2012. Additionally, she has also recently completed coursework through Radford for math credentials to teach dual enrollment in partnership with John Tyler Community College. In case you hadn't figured it out by now, when asked to the accomplishment she is most proud of, she said, winning a spot in the highly competitive Desmos Fellowship Program. She went on to say she's been an advocate for Desmos for years, and as a member of the fellowship had the opportunity to fly out to the headquarters in San Francisco and meet with their leadership team and their trainers and programmers. She is proud of the impact that she has had working with teachers all over the county and all over the country, and has hosted countless trainings, webinars, and workshops showing teachers in small communities and even large school divisions and the Department of Education how Desmos can be utilized to increase student engagement and achievement. She is held in the highest regard by her students and colleagues, and perhaps it is best summed up by the words of one of her fellow department members who stated, "Mrs. Williams consistently works to find creative ways to help her students succeed. She finds and creates interactive math activities so that students with a variety of learning styles can engage with the material. She cares deeply about her students and is always thinking of new ways to help them do better. She regularly takes the time to check in with her colleagues, discuss ideas, and offer support. She will do absolutely anything to help her students succeed in the classroom." When asked to name another teacher or mentor or colleague that has been an inspiration for them as a teacher, she named Mr. Sheridan. And said Mr. Sheridan manages to balance teaching incredibly complex math with building relationships with students who come back to see him year after year. She said, "I want to be that teacher. The one students say is the one who made math class the one they look forward to going to." Finally, I asked Mary if she could go back and talk to herself as a first-year teacher, what piece of advice would you give yourself? And this is what she said. "I remember sitting in the classroom floor my first year right before the end of the grading period, sorting stacks of paper that I needed to grade. Mrs. Sue Little marched in and said, 'Honey, you do not have to grade everything. I'm sure you have more than enough grades in the grade book. You're reaching these kids, and that's what matters.' I I would definitely tell my first-year self to stop thinking that every assignment has to be graded to have value, and that taking the time to actually talk to students and build relationships is far more important than having the perfect lesson. Students may not remember exactly what you taught them, but they will remember that you cared about them. I would also tell myself, it's okay to deviate from what everyone else is doing and try something different, because those have been some of the very best lessons. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my distinct honor to present to you our 2022 Midlothian High School Teacher of the Year and Desmos Queen herself, Miss Mary Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Spivak, but I'll never be able to follow that. I can't tell you how much this means. I'm going to try to get through this without crying, but I think I'll get there. You know, to win this honor anywhere, any year, is just an incredible honor. But to win that here at Midlothian High School, where I just teach with so many innovative and passionate educators who work every single day to make sure that the kids get everything they need and beyond, it is such an honor to be nominated, much less to receive this award. So thank you all, and I do feel like I share it with everyone because wow, what a year. It's just been really, really a long year. I would like to thank a couple of people who have especially been really amazing supporters through this journey. Our administration, thank you so much. If you've ever been through this experience, there is an opportunity to fill out some paperwork and get some letters of recommendation. And Dr. Abel, when I read yours, it did me. I think every teacher really needs to know how much we're done. Our math department, sorry, no offense to any other departments, but you're missing out because we have the very best one. I'm so blessed to work with people that I do work with every day. And I just promoted you, you're also a doctor now, Mr. Sheridan. Mr. Sheridan with his brilliant mind and Julie Trost with her grace, really together. Thank you for your patience in all of my questions of, but why? Why can't I do it this way? Why does the domain have to be restricted? Lots and lots of questions and always a lot of support there, and I really appreciate all that you do to support me. Karen Satchel is in the house, and if you guys didn't know this, Karen Satchel was my mentor my first year. I did my student teaching with her and my very first practicum with her, and she gave me some of the best advice day in and day out, like little small things about what do you do when you've got disruptive students and how to manage that, and when to close your door and just teach the way that you need to teach because you know what's best. She was the best mentor because I asked her if I should do this paper mache project. I had a really cool idea to do, and she was like, "Are you sure you really want to do that?" And I said, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, I'll bring the wine bottle so your kids will have something to set them up to dry." And she was right because I picked paper mache out of a overhead projector for 3 years of it. And young teachers, have you ever even used an overhead projector? Because you may not have. So Karen, thank you for all of your advice, just year after year, solid advice. Catherine and Ruth, thank you for the texting that happens. Oh, I can take this off now. For the texting at 11:30 midnight. Hey, I'm thinking maybe I could do this. Here's another way. Hey, have you tried using your cell phone as a document camera? I don't know how I could have gotten through this past year without many members of the math department. Catherine, thank you for always responding and not mocking me for the things I want to try. Corey Finn, who has solved so many technological challenges for me this year. You know, I used to be the tech person, and now when my son Jack is not here to help me, Corey has definitely been my go-to guy because my laptop was Flintstones era, wouldn't connect to the internet there for a while. All of the math department is great. I'm blessed to work with PLCs that share everything, and we've got documents and ideas that we really draw from each other, and I just feel really fortunate because Midlothian really is family, and above all, my family's here. I could not do it without them, my husband David, who thank God is an engineer because I couldn't afford to do this job anymore. And he thinks I'm a little bit insane because it seems like I'm up every night until 11 and I'm working on weekends graduated from JMU, he's here, and my other son Ben is here. He's getting ready to graduate from med school. Could not be prouder. We'll be transferring all the celebrations to them this weekend. And my daughter Haley is in New York, but she's here somewhere in a Zoom call or on the Trojan Network Live. And thank you for all of your support. And telling me I can do it even when things get really crazy. So thanks to my family at home and to my family here at the Life so truly is amazing. And Regina, thank you for all you've done to organize this. And Mark, for your words, they were just truly lovely. So thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. I want to thank every member of the math department who took time to join us this afternoon in person, the members of the Teacher of the Year nominating committee and selection committee. Thank you so much. And for our guests that joined, particularly her family today, and on the live stream as well, her daughter. Mary, your words, it was easy to write your recommendation. That's the easiest ones are when you write them for incredible people. It just, the pen flows even for a math teacher. So it was quite simple to write. So I want to invite everyone to join us up front that's here in person. We have some cake and pre-cut ahead of time, ready to go, separated. Grab your piece of cake, grab your drink, join us for a little camaraderie. Thank you for everyone that took the time to join online. Again, congratulations, Ms. Williams. And you know what? I am so happy we didn't lose you to Desmos. You did so much work with that company. I was like, I'm telling you, they're going to make her an offer she can't refuse. And then the other part of me said, she loves kids way too much. I'm sure she'll turn it down unless it's really that good. So I'm glad we have not lost you, at least yet, to a company like Desmos, because you do some amazing things for our kids and you make such an incredible difference. Thank you all for joining us. Have a wonderful afternoon and happy Teacher Appreciation Week again, everyone. You're the best to work for. Thank you. You all can come on down front.